So thanks for tuning back in. We are going to get back to our Sequoia project today, dealing with some repair from an oops. So tune in to see what mischief we get into today. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Brendan here, aka Cliff Jumper. We are back on the Sequoia after a very long wait and lots of negotiations with our insurance company. We were finally able to settle with them, so we can now proceed to fix the oops that has happened here. As you can see, the door is pretty mushed. You may have seen this in one of my previous videos. We got T-boned twice in the exact same spot, so yeah, that's a thing. So what we're gonna do today is we are going to remove the door and we are going to put on a fresh door, which happens to be painted in the exact same color as the car. So it should just be a fairly straightforward. We're gonna use this complete door assembly, throw it on there, and while that is not gonna fix this part yet, that is yet to come, we will be using a body shop to help pull that back out and deal with it and make it less ugly than it is. We may actually cut this section out and weld in another section. That remains to be seen. I've had a few different opinions on this. One body shop said, oh, you know what, it's not going to be seen if you don't care. And since this is our forever car, they're like, well, we could pull it. That's going to bring the step bar back up to where it needs to be. And we don't have to bother replacing that. We can pull it, and it's already messed up because we step on it and stuff, so I don't care. But they can pull this and then smooth this all out and you know, repaint it, and it'll be fine. Out of sight, out of mind. The main thing is the door, which is ugly. So we're going to replace that. This should bolt on in place and away to the races. So in order to accomplish that, you may notice, I'm kind of studying what we got here, a couple of bolts. These hinges go through the door, or I'm sorry, they go through the B-pillar here. So right here in this section of the car, they go through. You can see one of them right here. And we have to access it from back behind this panel. So this panel is going to come out, and then we are going to unbolt it. There's one electrical connector that gets unbolted, and this is the retainer so that the door doesn't swing too far out of place and hit stuff. So or break the hinges. So that gets unbolted as well. You can see that right here. So that's just simple unbolt. The wiring is in here. We will unclip that. We will remove the door panel from this door and transfer it onto that one once it is installed. And that should be mischief managed for one day. So we'll see how long it takes us to deal with this, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad. So for this C panel, I think all we need to do is use a trim tool and pry it out. It should just be fairly straightforward. So I'm going to get in there and see what we can do. Yes, indeed. Just comes apart pretty easily. It's got the standard body clips in there that we will have to remove from their pegs and put back in this panel when we snap it back into place. But yeah, no biggie. So that'll come out of the way. By the way, these things break all the time. So if you break them, just know that you can order a pack of like 50 of them on Amazon for like $5. So do that. Have them on hand, have them ready to go so that when you actually need them, you've got them. All right, now that that is kind of out of the way, you can see there is a plastic cover for the wiring, and we are going to need to open up this white plastic cover. So there's just a couple of tabs, and that should come open without a whole lot of complaint. I might need both my hands to accomplish this, but let's see if I can do it one-handed. Nope, one-handed is not going to work. So, okay, so I used this clip remover tool to stick down inside there. That was able to spudge that open, and now we have access to the electrical connector for the door, which is inside here, and that's right there. It just comes apart. I will need both hands to squeeze that and open it, but that is the connector, and we'll just undo that, and that will pass through out here. Then we also have access to the bolts that are inside there, or I should say the nuts that are holding the door on. So there's one set up top, one set down below. Those ones are going to be kind of a pain down there, but we will manage it. Pushing from behind with my fingers, I can push this grommet out. You see, that gives us all we need to get that wiring harness pushed through. So nothing crazy needs to happen here, and that comes out. Voila, that's unplugged, ready to go. So now we'll unbolt that, and then we will unbolt these nuts from back there. It is possible to just undo these right here as well on the door and leave the hinges in place and just swap the door over. That may end up being easier than getting back in there and undoing these. We shall see. It'll depend on how hard it is to get the lower ones unbolted. If I can't get them, I'll start with the lower ones because they're going to be the hard ones. If I can't get them, then we are just going to unbolt the whole hinge itself and transfer it over that way. Now we have access. And oh, those aren't actually too bad to get to. All right, we should be able to get to those. They look like maybe 13 millimeter nuts back there. So I'll get some sockets and we'll attack that. And of course, I need to get that removed, and I'm going to remove the door panel, the inner panel first before I unbolt everything, because then it's going to be a pain in the neck to deal with. So that's got to come off. These little guys on the end, you just take a screwdriver and pop those in like that, and then you can use a tool to pry these bottom things out. So that should theoretically allow us to pop those out. There we go. That comes out just like so. And yeah, absolutely, just throw it on the ground. Yeah, no. There we go. And that one is out. We have to remove a screw that's under here, remove this bezel. This pops out and we disconnect. Let's see what else. There's a screw under here we have to disconnect. There are a bunch of trim piece, those little things. These guys, they go all the way around it, those little pins. So we pop them out, and then a couple more electrical connectors, I think. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe it's just the one here. So we'll take a peek at that. So that pops out of the way. Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screw back up inside here. Just open this one, it doesn't come off all the way, and then another Phillips head screw behind that little trapdoor cover. That'll come out when I pull off the panel. From the front of here, you use a Phillips head screwdriver, or no, I'm sorry, Phillips head, a flathead screwdriver to pop this panel up. You can pull this out of the way, and then this should pop up. You might have to push forward on the clip to release it. There we go. And to get this off, there's actually a little pin on the top and the bottom that you have to hit at the same time with two different screwdrivers. So kind of prying into this on both sides, and then it comes out. And at that point, this whole thing should just lift off. And we do have, oh, this little guy here I forgot about. Pop that through. Probably should have done that first, but whatever. It's a little door light. There's a clip. Push down on that. It releases. Now it's free. And now I can go back, finish undoing all that, and we'll remove it. Cool. So it's out of the way. No biggie. We'll go ahead and bolt the next one in. It's essentially the opposite of what we just did, to bolt those in place and put everything back. Sure it actually closes and seals, what I've done is, before I've tightened these, I've closed the door and used that to be the natural alignment, and now I'm going to tighten those bolts. All right, do me a favor, shut the door, see if it actually closes. Give it a good shut. All right, great. Open it. Fabulous. We have a functioning door. Now we just got to put all the rest of this stuff back.
Minutes later.
These things, we want to make sure we've just pushed them through to get them out so they look like this. You're gonna shove this center part back through so that it's sticking out, and then put the collar into the hole and then shove this back in. That locks it in place. I think that's it. Voila. Obviously, I'm going to need to do a little bit of buffing right there to clean that up so that it looks, you know, as good as it possibly can, but still this is 3,000% better than it was with the giant bashed in thing, and we'll figure this out. I did not film this, but I took a hammer and a dolly to smooth this down just a little bit so that the door panel will clear. And now it is clearing and closing smoothly, and obviously we're gonna have to pull this, deal with the bodywork, but for now, it's all right. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time. God bless. Let me know how I can be praying for you. Bye-bye.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.